Please tell me your full name and where and when you were born.
Grover Cleveland Garland, Clay County, Kentucky, 1/16/32.
Do you have any family members that are serving or have served in the military?
I have a couple of uncles that served in World War II. Other than that, no.
What were you doing before you entered the service?
I started teaching a one-room school one year and a half before I went in service. I graduated from Sue Bennett, and you could begin teaching with 2 years college at that time.
What motivated you to join the military?
A letter from President Truman.
In which branch of the military did you serve?
Served in the Air Force.
What happened when you departed for boot camp and during early days of training?
I enlisted at Louisville and was traveled by plane to San Antonio, Texas, for basic training there.
Do you have any memories of your instructors that you would like to share?
Well, had a drill instructor by the name of Stewart, and he liked to put people on yo-yo squad that messed up, and of course I was one of them, and I started, he gave the command to turn right, and I didn't hear him, and I just went on straight, you know, and got in the yo-yo squad.
Did you receive any specialized training?
Yes, I had some courses from Trinity University in statistics and mathematics. I had joined voluntarily an outfit called the Human Resources Research Center at the end of basic, and I stayed on there 4 months at Lackland and took those courses through university.
How did you adapt to the military life? Can you tell me about the barracks, food, and physical regimen?
Well, there'd been a fast buildup in the Korean War, and in basic training, I served in a tent with 13 men. And in Texas, it was cold in the winter, cold in the night, and warm in the day, usually. we had to have one person stand on, watch us, watch or watch the stove at night.
Where did you serve?
After Lackland, I served in Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi. Served for, we were working for 2 psychologists and doing statistics and otherwise. Then from there, I was at Keesler almost 2 years, I guess. And then they closed their little attachment down and sent me to Denver. And I was there only a short while till I got orders for Alaska. So I served in Fairbanks for a while. We got back trouble up there, and they sent me back to Illinois, a bigger hospital, and I got a little antsy up there. I'd been fighting it so long, and the head doctor said, I'll send you out to Walter Reed, where you can get some psychiatric help as well as otherwise. So we did, and I had surgery at Walter Reed. I was there about 2 weeks, and I was getting near the end of my term, so they didn't want to ship me out too far. They assigned me to a bowling field, a little Air Force base there that served the Pentagon in D.C. And so I spent the rest of my time there.
What were your duties while you were serving?
I carried the personnel AFSC, that's a security code, and they didn't have one for the Human Resources Research Center. So, what was the question? Sorry.
Just what were your duties?
My duties. Well, we asked the first guy we saw, those of us had been selected to for that service, what he did, he said, I count dots. Actually, at Keesler, we were working for 2 psychologists doing the statistics and so forth. So that's what I mostly did.
Would you tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences?
I guess the most memorable experiences was having surgery at Walter Reed.
How did you stay in touch with family and friends back home?
Basically wrote letters.
Would you tell me about the day your service ended?
Yeah, I got out about 2 in the afternoon, leaving the base. I had the wife with me by that time, and we had a car with us, 55 Ford, I think. And lieutenant checking me out said, "What are you going to do when you get back?" I said, "I'll probably go back to teaching." That's what I was doing. He said, "But how are you going to make a living?" I said, "Well, there's hickory nuts and walnuts and all kinds of goodies in them Kentucky hills." We got over an age of West Virginia. I said to Joan, "I've never been across West Virginia. I believe we'll just drive that way." We just got over an edge of West Virginia before we stopped for the night, and we got up next morning and snowing. And the further we went, the worse it got. I wore out 2 new sets of chains, and we finally made it that day to Moorhead in Kentucky, and stayed all night there, and then we come home the next day.
How did you readjust to civilian life?
I wanted to get my degree, so I went on to the University of Kentucky, and it was beginning of the second semester almost, and so we lived down there till I got my degree at UK. The GI Bill was not very strong to help, so I decided I needed some extra income, and I taught a year over in Bourbon County. You had to have a degree in Fayette County, which I didn't have exactly. But
Could you explain more about what you did after your military service?
after the military service, as I said, I went to UK and got my degree there and taught a year in Bourbon County at the same time. Then we came back to London, and I was hired to teach at Bush High School. And a few years later, Hayward Gillen was the superintendent. He hired me as federal programs coordinator. And when he retired, I became superintendent. And I served as superintendent about 9 years and retired.
Have you remained in contact or reunited with any fellow veterans?
Not much. I have two friends that I worked a long time with that we exchanged Christmas cards. And that's about it.
How did your military experiences affect your life?
That's a hard one. I think it taught me some organization and discipline.
What message would you like to leave for future generations who will view this interview?
Like for them to keep the faith. They've got a good country. We keep it.
Is there anything you feel we haven't discussed or should be added to this interview?
No, I think it's pretty comprehensive. Anything else I can dodge?